This is Dr. Whiting, and welcome to Part 6 of Cheating Death 2022. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you to please like and subscribe if you haven't to our videos. If you have any comments, please post them below, and certainly if you have any questions about things that I may not have made exactly clear to you, you can post those there as well, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. It has often been said that good health begins or ends in your digestive system. And I couldn't agree more. Because if your digestive system is not properly functioning, then you're not absorbing nutrients and calories and proteins, especially proteins, from your food. And if you take supplements and you have digestive problems, you're likely not absorbing those either. So it's easy to tell if you've got gastric deficiency or stomach deficiency, because you will experience such things as gas, bloating, feelings of fullness, heartburn, or even acid reflux. Keep in mind that your digestive system is both acidic and alkaline at different stages of the digestive process. This is essential because different foods digest in different environments. Some foods digest in acids. Some foods need to digest in an alkaline environment. So let's see how the nature has fixed that for us until we messed it up. Acid function, which occurs in the stomach, is responsible for proteins, because proteins digest in an acid environment only. And protein is a Greek word that means of first importance. So when you lack protein, your collagen breaks down, you age prematurely, basically you look terrible. And protein is the only substance, the only food in the form of amino acids that can rebuild and repair cellular tissue. Minerals also absorb in an acid environment, as we discussed in the previous section about osteoporosis and bone loss. And if your stomach is not producing adequate gastric acid, you're not absorbing minerals like calcium, magnesium, and all of the 60+ trace minerals. Keep in mind that enzymes, which are the natural substances that aid in digestion throughout your digestive tract from beginning to end, enzymes are formed in an acid environment, not in an alkaline environment. The stomach, the healthy stomach, is naturally acidic. Acid reflux, heartburn, etc., are caused from a lack of stomach acids, not too much. So when you get that burning up your throat, that acid reflux, and the doctor gives you antacids because he believes erroneously that you have too much stomach acid, what you in fact have is too little. Because if you had adequate stomach acid, you wouldn't be regurgitating. You'd be digesting instead. Antacids, whether they be by prescription or over the counter, are some of the most dangerous and damaging substances that you can use. Alkaline function. Your small intestine, which is where the food goes after it leaves the stomach, is naturally alkaline. Why? Because carbohydrates are digested in an alkaline state. The more refined the carbohydrate, the faster it assimilates and converts to blood sugar in the small intestine. The small intestine is naturally alkaline, and alkaline foods and acidic foods cannot digest in the same environment at the same time. So when you eat a meal that has a piece of fish, chicken, a steak, and you have a baked potato and some dessert with it, you have a problem. Your digestive system has to make a choice. And because protein is of the first importance, it chooses to digest the protein first in the stomach. So it keeps that whole meal locked in your stomach. Because it's an acid environment, the baked potato and the dessert are not being digested. They're just sitting there waiting. And at 100 degrees body temperature, they can form gas and hence bloating and feelings of fullness. When you take an antacid, either over the counter or by prescription, it neutralizes all the stomach acid, causing the little valve at the bottom of the stomach called the pyloric valve to pop open and dump all of the contents into the small intestine. When that occurs, the baked potato and the dessert now start their digestion in an alkaline environment. But if the protein was only partially digested due to a lack of stomach acid, it has no hope for digestion. So by using those things, you can get immediate relief from the bloating and the burping and the heartburn and all of that because it dumps the stomach. But you simply exchange upper intestinal gas for lower intestinal gas, which in many parts of the world is socially less acceptable. Food enters the stomach. Proteins are digested along with mineral uptake. Once proteins have been digested, the contents of the stomach is then dumped into the small intestine where carbohydrates begin their digestion. Several things we can do to improve our digestion. Increase the acid in the stomach. How do we do that? With acidic foods like vinegar, with betaine hydrochloride supplements, with natural enzymes, will work wonders. And if you want to address your diet issues, do not consume concentrated carbohydrates with concentrated proteins at the same meal. Have your steak and your veggies, and then if you want a dessert, have a dessert 2 hours later. And two things will happen. One, you'll improve your digestion. And secondly, in 2 hours afterwards, you're likely going to be somewhere where there is no dessert. And you'll do your body and your health a big favor by not consuming so many of those things anyway. Targeted nutrition, then, is natural hydrochloric acid in the form of betaine hydrochloride, enzyme precursors and whole enzymes, and fat emulsifying agents. Should you have any questions about this or anything we've discussed in this series, please feel free to ask those questions below, as well as put down your comments. We'd like to know. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. And tell your friends about it, because you can't tell when we might say something that could be important for them. In Part 7, we will begin our discussion with arthritis and all those related things.